right, ladies and gentlemen, if you've been keeping up with my channel, then you might be familiar with this creator that you're seeing on the screen right now, Enol. And what I gotta say is that this guy makes some pretty damn good content, and specifically content that is a little bit critical about Hoyoverse for very good reasons, and what this company needs to do to start really fixing up the reputation of their games and making them a lot more playable. I've reacted to this guy in the past with my video, HSR is the new Genshin Impact, and his video, the Genshification of Honkai Star Rail, and we got this guy from 40 subs at the second of reacting to his vid, and now we got him at 339. And so what I would love to see, ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this content, if you're enjoying his take and you're enjoying the react, let's go ahead. Let's try to get this guy to 1,000 because his content is some awesome stuff. And I'll show you exactly why. Because today he's going to be focusing on what Hoyoverse should learn from Kuro games. Because he's experienced in Wuwa. HSR used to be his favorite game. Now let's go ahead and see what his takeaways are going to be.
Alright guys, let's talk about Wuthering Waves and why I think it's the best gacha game as of right now. In the previous video I complained about the not so good state in which Honkai Star Rail happened to be in. And I praised Wuthering Waves for a bit. And to be fair, I feel like I need to praise it more. Maybe if more people will do that, Hoyo will understand what they need to improve.
This is the thing. It's not about wondering at this point. It's about knowing. The more good public recognition Wuthering Waves has for its content, the greater the fire that's burning under Hoyoverse's ass will become. Because think about it this way. There is a literal track record, ladies and gentlemen. Hoyoverse has released more quality of life updates across their entire portfolio of games since Wuwa's release, more QOL since Wuwa's release than they've released in the past 4 to 5 years of business. And if you're still one of those individuals that keeps saying that, oh, all of Genshin's QOL, oh, all of this QOL you're saying in Z, all that's in ZZZ, all of that stuff, oh, it's intended. The devs were going to do that anyways. Wuwa had nothing to do with it. In fact, it's the competition from the other Hoyoverse games that's causing Genshin to improve. Wuwa's not even in the equation. Those individuals are completely deluded. They're completely disillusioned. They have no idea what to even talk about anymore. Because 1,000,000%. When Hoyo sees Wuwa doing good, oh, they're scrambling. They're scrambling to protect the PR of Genshin Impact, and they actually start improving the game. And that is the best way for Genshin and basically any other Hoyo game to become better. They are competitors taking the spotlight away from them and showing them what a better game can do. And that is the greatest change that can happen to the Hoyoverse genre.
After playing Honkai Star Rail since day one, and seeing how things went downhill, Wuthering Waves came in like a breath of fresh air.
Very
It's true, it had its own slower patches, but every patch came with something that improved the quality of the game.
And when it came to Wuwa's slower patches, the devs were basically openly admitting that Wuwa was going through a bit of a downtime, going through a bit of a rewrite to improve the overall story and set the stage for version 2.0. That's why patches like maybe 1.2 or 1.4 weren't as rich on story content and might have been potentially viewed as fillers. And then Wuwa just went ahead and then absolutely raised the bar for gacha games as a whole and completely blew out the rest of the space with version 2.0. It is so clear what these devs were doing, why some of those earlier patches were lacking, because holy shit, Renacida and 2.0 were absolutely, unequivocally the best patch in gacha gaming. It was the best patch in gacha gaming. Nothing comes close. And that at this point is pretty much like, it's not an objective fact, but it's a subjective one that is shared by a majority of the gacha community.
It's like Kuro look at everything player asked Hoyo to add and said, yeah, we're adding that soon. At this point I think most of you guys know how convenient it is to do a tacit field and spend double the stamina for double the rewards.
Oh, but in Genshin Impact, they have the condensed resin. You just gotta go ahead and then teleport to the crafting bench, and you gotta make sure you caught all the crystal flies first. Oh, and you can only hold 5 of the condensed resin at a time. Imagine if they just had a double claim option. You just spend double the fucking resin, and you just claim double the rewards. And so you just don't have to deal with all this fucking mini game of like butterflies that run away from you. The butterflies that run away from you when you get too close. Like, seriously, it's just like, you feel like you're getting treated like a fucking kid in Genshin Impact. And as you get older, you're just like, yeah, this is just tiring. It's just exhausting at this point.
Because you see, I appreciate when my time is respected. And I know it's not a big deal. What's another 2 minutes to do another one? But I have that option. How about flying? It's like breaking a barrier no other gacha did. In all other games, flying comes at a cost. A new unit or a new mount. And yes, I'm comparing it to Genshin because I can compare it with a game in which I'm not even allowed to jump.
Hey, put some ZZZ in there too.
Oh, but in ZZZ, you could just play a character like Heion or Koleda, and they actually incorporate jumps into their basic attack chains. And so ZZZ actually does have a Z-axis, you dumbass. So you're wrong there, amigo. Oh, and Firefly, the character on the screen right now, she can use her enhanced skill and fly into the sky. But just disregard the fact that even though Firefly's in the sky, she still can't go over walls. She still has to make sure that she's following the boundaries of the map, even though she's in the sky. Just ignore that part.
Also, Hoyoverse, let's stop with the backward evolution, please. How come that we cannot even jump in your newest games? And I'm supposed to talk about flying here.
Even Honkai Impact 3rd has jump. It does. I'm not gonna lie, Honkai Impact 3rd 2.0 is like, it's actually like a decently fun game. I'm gonna be honest, if you've played this game, the combat in it actually feels to a degree somewhat better than ZZZ. I'm not even joking. I'm actually not joking. Try Honkai Impact 3rd 2.0 and then try ZZZ, and then tell me which combat actually feels better. It is, I'm not gonna lie, I do think Honkai Impact 3rd takes the cake here, and the pun intended.
There are plenty of instance-based gachas that allow me to jump, even if it's pointless. Flying around in Rinasita is like therapy. Oh wow, do you see that mountain? Let's see how fast I can get there. And guess what? I can do that with any character. I don't need any specific region-based unit unlike other games.
Oh, but Carlotta, when you pull her and level up her first inherent skill, she gives a buff to your flying stamina. And so she lets you fly for like an additional 5 seconds. She lets you fly for 5 more seconds if she's on the team. Look, Wuthering Waves is pay to win too. You guys were wrong. It's just like Natlan. It's just like Chaska. It's the same thing.
But hey, they will reduce the amount of mobs in HSR.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it just hilarious how the best quality of life updates that Hoyoverse games have had, games like HSR and ZZZ, the quality of life updates that are the most well received by the player base is the devs removing stuff from the game. People loved HSR's announcement that they were going to be streamlining the story and removing dialogue. People loved ZZZ's announcement that they were removing TVs from the game. How is it that the features that these devs are adding into the first place are so dog shit, features that they spend development time, budget, resources on, they're so dog shit that their removal makes the game better? How does that happen? That doesn't make sense. Just stop making bad features in the first place. Like, one playtest, one survey, like just one person actually going through and validating how their product feels would be enough to determine that these features are so bad in like the blueprinting and like the brainstorming. They should know the features are so bad that they should just not implement them in the first place. And the fact that they need to be like told after months by the community that these features are just dog shit, it shows a lack of connection to their players as a whole. And it's just so concerning. It's either a complete cognitive dissonance for what their consumers want, or it's simply a desire to try and nickel and dime their playtime as much as possible by extending it through extraneous bullshit. Either way, both are awful. Both are just bad. And it's so sad. It is so sad.
Because that's the type of quality we get in Hoyo games. Implement is something that is tedious, and after a few patches remove it and call it quality of life.
I've said it once and I'll say it again. The quality of life in Hoyoverse games is removing the quality of death. That is killing the game. It's not that they're adding something to the game, they're removing what is killing it. Things that they themselves implemented in the first place. Awesome, awesome stuff.
I still find it funny how Wuthering Waves got eco presets when Genshin needed more than us. If you want to annoy a Genshin player, show them how you can change your entire gear in 1 second without having to search for each piece. Objectively speaking, Wuthering Wave is not at the point where it needs eco presets.
That's honestly so true. Wuthering Waves doesn't even have enough characters or enough nuanced Sonata sets to really even like compel the need for echo presets. I'm going to be entirely 100% honest. I feel like there wasn't even like that big of a demand for echo presets by the community, and the devs kind of just put them in. The devs kind of just put them in, knowing the framing of, well, we only have like 20-something characters. We only have like 20-something characters, right? And only like 10, 11 Sonata sets. And then these Hoyoverse games with like fucking 100 to like 50 characters, right? And like 20 to 30 different sets are just like saying, go fuck yourself. 100 characters and like 20 to 30 sets. And it's just like, hey, good luck, buddy boy. Good luck. Have fun. Have fun playing the equivalent of inventory Jenga before you can start your Spiral Abyss clear. Imaginarium Theater? Oh, you gotta get your 17 characters that you need for the game mode kitted out? Ha! I hope you're ready to spend 1 hour in the gearing menu before you can play Imaginarium Theater, because you're swapping around all of the different characters sets and you have to like remember everything you're doing. That had to be the biggest turnoff from the Imaginarium Theater mode, was knowing that, oh, it's 24? Sorry, I understated it. Was knowing that you needed 20 plus characters for the mode, all with their own artifact sets and weapons. And without presets for the artifacts, imagine managing 22 characters, 5 artifacts per character. That's 110 pieces. You have to know where 110 pieces are at to clear the game mode, or at least make sure that all the characters you're clearing with are adequately geared. I didn't even realize that. I didn't even do the math until now. You have to keep track of 110 pieces without a selector or without presets. It's actually a job. I feel like you should have to pay somebody to clear the Imaginarium Theater for you. 110 pieces. I actually feel disgusted thinking about it. I'm actually disgusted.
But what not implement it if you know it will be needed in the future?
Honestly, I feel like Wuwa implemented the echo presets just to fuck with Genshin Impact. I honestly think that the Kuro devs, when they're going through what sort of quality of life they want to add to Wuwa, they actually look through the most requested things that Genshin Impact has, and they're just like, yeah, let's add that one. Let's just add that one. Surely people will enjoy this one. And I feel like they just have like a wheel in the office of all of Genshin's quality of life fixes. They just spin it and they decide which one to do every patch. That's actually what it feels like at this point. That's actually what it feels like.
Oh boy, I'm using it and it feels so good. I can test characters with different sets without the headache of switching every piece. One button and it's done. And by the way, why is there no reserve stamina in Genshin? How many years do we have to wait to get it?
They're never gonna add it to the game. I feel like at this point, the fact that they haven't added it by now is just ridiculous. It's one of the biggest barriers to a character or to a player coming back to the game. You take a break for 6 months, you log back in, and then you just get slapped in the face with a 200 out of 200. That's basically the game telling you, yeah, you're never gonna catch up, buddy. You're gonna be playing this game for like 30 minutes today, even though you just took a 6-month break. You're gonna be playing it for 30 minutes. Why? It just kills the incentive for people to come back to Genshin after they quit it, or if there's like a good patch. And other games like HSR or ZZZ, you take a long ass break, you come back, and you're like, whoa, I'm gonna be able to play for like 10 hours today. Wuwa admittedly only has 240. I do think that Wuwa's 480. I do believe that Wuwa's 480 should be increased in the future, but for the game being this early in its life cycle, maybe that's why they decided on 480, but I do want to see that number increase. But still, 480 is better than 0.
So if I don't log in for 2 days, that's pretty much it. No stamina for the second day. How come that Star Rail and Zenless Zone Zero has it, but the oldest of the 3 does not? What's the logic? Is this too a limitation of the Unity engine? Because it doesn't make sense. All 3 of them are built on the same engine.
People use, oh, it's built on Unity. Oh, Genshin Impact is just running on an older version of Unity. That's why they can't do all these changes that you guys are asking for them. Oh, these poor devs. The poor devs. You keep asking them to make fire out of not flint. How are they going to be able to handle this? They can do it. They're just choosing not to.
Why there is a limitation of only 1 boss per week? God forbid you want to build 2 characters that need the same boss material. You'll be there for months. You mean to tell me that they really need that survey? They really had the audacity of asking us if you like to farm materials that we need in any day we want? without the pointless schedule limitation.
This is like you, when you go to work, you like get in your car and you start the car, you pull out of your driveway, but then before you like get out onto the main street, you get like punched in the dick, like hard. And then you get a survey in the mail that asks you, hey, before you go on commute to work every morning, would you like to stop getting punched in the dick? The answer is yes. Why are you even asking the question? It's like, yes, I don't want to be assaulted just going to work. The answer is yes. Why are you even asking this? It was genuinely the most insulting survey I think that any player of the game has ever seen. You have something that is just objectively the most annoying, one of the most annoying fucking things in the game that people have been complaining about since the release of the game. And you're just like, well, it's been 5 years. It's been 5 years with this dog shit feature. Are you guys not happy with it? No. Why even ask? That should be the overall response to that Genshin survey. If that's not the response that you have, you're probably getting paid.
Imagine having to wait for a specific day to farm for your materials. And the filler patches, oh my god. If you thought Natlan was bad, think how bad the filler patches are gonna be. Take 5.4 for example. The main selling point is a bathhouse and the standard 5-star. But let's cope together and say we have time to say for future characters.
The highlight of this patch is going to be Farina's rerun. That's the only thing that players are currently on that fucking patch for. And people using the excuse of, oh, I want to save, oh, I get to save my polls. Oh, I get to do all the story quests I didn't do. Oh, I love having downtime in my gacha game. I love having nothing to do. What a dog shit argument. What an actually just dog shit argument. Right here. The worst in gacha gaming.
God damn it, this is the most, well not the most, but one of the most insane things I heard. You mean to tell me you need time to save? Save for what? If you think like that, I think you need to get some help.
Stop it. Get some help.
Now, if there would be a way to remove the skip button in Wuthering Waves and give it to Star Rail, because that game is in dire need of a skip button.
I'm gonna be honest, yes. I think if you had the Wuwa player and then the Star Rail player, I think the Wuwa player would consensually give up their skip button to implement it into HSR because the Wuwa story is actually good. I don't know very many people at all that skip the Wuwa story other than like the side quests, like the blue quests that are like not voiced. I would give up the skip button in Wuwa 1,000,000% to like transplant it like a fucking medical procedure into HSR. 1,000,000 fucking percent I would do that. 1,000,000% I would do that. It would actually make Honkai Star Rail playable. And when we try out 3.1 today, we're gonna have to see just how dog shit it is. Because I heard 3.1 is some trash. I heard 3.1 is like actually trash, and it's like the same level of badness that 3.0 was. Oh boy, I'm ready. I'm ready.
I will also give credit where good changes have occurred. Zelda Zone 0 was such a mess in the first 3 patches.
True.
I'm not even gonna talk about the TV mechanic.
Good.
And how, again,
I'm gonna get
the
PTSD.
best quality of life was to remove a dumb feature. But the game improves. A lot. Why, you may ask? Because the revenue went down. You see how easy it is to fix a game? If people would stop eating slop, Hoyo would actually make the game better. And I'm gonna say it, I was the part of the problem too. But at least ZZZ has jiggle physics on overclock. And I don't mind. Man of culture here. I'm definitely staring respectfully. If you can make them jump, make them jiggle as if they are jump. Okay, sorry about that, I went off the script.
Hey, man, I think ZZZ is this guy's new favorite game. At least his new favorite Hoyo game. 1,000,000%. I do believe he is a fan.
Zenless Zone 0 is in a good state right now. Barely to none TV gameplay, more fighting modes that actually feels enjoyable. I would put ZZZ in the second place as a good gacha, right after Wuthering Waves. But will it stay there? I don't know, it's Hoyo. The revenue needs to stay down to actually have good updates, because that's how it is. It works the other way around. Guys, it's that easy to make Genshin and HSR better. We just need to stop spending money. But that's hard. You'll be called a hater for complaining.
That's what I've been saying for such a long time. And I'm glad that people are starting to get it after they've seen the noticeable shifts or like the promises to change, keyword promises to change, by the HSR and the ZZZ. teams, right? Revenue goes down, the patch isn't well received, people get upset and stop spending money. The game gets better, or at least the devs promise to make the game better. That is what occurs. It happened for ZZZ. It might happen for HSR, though what I've heard from 3.1, it's dog shit, so maybe the devs actually just don't give a fuck anyways. And to some degree, right, it happened to Wuwa. But the thing is, when Wuwa's revenue goes up, remember 2.0 was the most successful Wuthering Waves has ever been? They follow up on 2.0 with Echo loadouts. They follow up on the best patch revenue-wise they've ever had by integrating more quality of life in 2.1. Believe me when I say if it was Hoyoverse and they saved the game and got revenues blowing up, they're gonna deliver a lackluster patch in the next version. Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. They already did that for ZZZ. Because ZZZ 1.4, huge revenue spike. For ZZZ 1.4, huge revenue spike with Miyabi and then all the updates to the game. And then in version 1.5 for ZZZ, it just, they didn't fucking do anything. They didn't do anything for version 1.5. It is one of the most lackluster patches ZZZ has ever had. And the thing is, that's them just taking their foot off the gas pedal. That's just them resting on their laurels, being like, okay, revenue's fine again because of Miyabi and 1.4. Fuck it. Let's just not do anything for ZZZ this patch. Let's just be lazy as fuck. And that's what it looks like. And so again, the only way for these devs to actually have reasonable change, just stop spending money on the game. Just stop it. Go free to play. Free to play is the best way to enjoy the game because the devs won't get as much money and they'll actually start making the game better. That's what it has to be at this point.
People do really love their anime characters to the point they're afraid of speaking against Hoyo. Because what? They will take your anime waifus? I really hope people that plays Genshin and HSR would give Wuthering Waves a fair try. Get to Rinasita and you'll see how good a gacha game can be. Alright guys, that's it for today. See you guys in the next one and thanks for watching.
Awesome video, Eno. That is what I am talking about, buddy. He outlined, and I think the main thing is, right, he was like very succinct about it. He gets like straight to the point, super clear, super concise, super easy to understand. I know in his last video, bro was like talking about his accent and like apologizing for it. This was one of the most like engaging and just like simple flow videos you can have. And he is like miles ahead of some of his peers that can't formulate a single fucking coherent thought, even with 50,000 words. He's easy to follow, and he delivered some fire points. So with that, let me know what you thought about him. Make sure to give this guy a like and sub, and peace out.